Hey guys, how is it going? So the holiday season is among us and I am ready for some pumpkin recipes. I used to eat like blueberry crisp, apple crisp, and my favorite part of the crisp is like that crumbly top, but there's nothing really keto we can eat that's like an apple crisp until now. I've created a pumpkin crisp recipe, so it's like a pumpkin pie mashed with that delicious crisp pecan topping, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to make it for this holiday season. First thing you want is to get some pumpkin puree, and this is 100% pure. Make sure that's what you're looking for when you're buying it in the grocery store. And the can is 15 ounces. We're only gonna be using 10 ounces today. So I've got my large mixing bowl and I'm just gonna add 10 ounces of pumpkin puree to it. And this is a higher carb recipe compared to what we normally like to do, but it is for the holidays and it's still gonna beat that like pumpkin pie, the pecan pie in terms of nutrition. And to this, we're just gonna add the rest of the ingredients. So we have 3 large eggs. We're gonna do a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And we're gonna do half a teaspoon of stevia, and this is gonna offset the erythritol we'll be using, so that's less erythritol. Half a cup of erythritol. 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, and you can go heavier, but I think 2 teaspoons is perfect. And some salt. And I'm just gonna give this a quick whisk before we add in our last ingredient. And the last ingredient is half a cup of heavy whipping cream. One last whisk. You could also use a hand mixer, but I didn't feel like getting it out. And you can always up the amount of pumpkin puree you want. You can use the entire can. That'll just increase the carbs, so that's something to note, but that'll definitely just make it more fuller and give it more pumpkin flavor. But this is our filling right here. It looks perfect. So it's pretty thin, but that's fine. It's gonna bake into a thick, nice pumpkin crisp. So for this recipe, we're gonna be using this 9.5-inch Pyrex dish. You can use a cake pan, you can use just like a brownie tray. Whatever you have at home will work, but we're just gonna grease this real quick. And then we're just gonna pour the filling in here. And right now I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. We're just gonna bake this for 10 minutes before we add the crumble, so it just like firms up a little bit and the crumble doesn't just sink to the bottom. Okay, and now we're gonna make the topping, which is a crisp, and we have 3/4 cup pecan right here, and you can honestly do any nut. I prefer pecans, so that's what we're gonna go with today, but walnuts, almonds, all that'll work great. And I'm just gonna chop this up, a nice rough chop, nice and chopped, and I'm just gonna add this to another mixing bowl. And to this, we're just gonna add the rest of the ingredients, which is 1 cup of almond flour, 1/4 cup of erythritol, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and you can do pumpkin pie spice if you want, but I like the combo of the cinnamon and the pumpkin pie spice. And then I'm just gonna actually give this a quick mix. And you're about to get in here with your hands, so it doesn't have to be like perfectly mixed. We are gonna do half a cup of cold butter cubed, and we're gonna add it in, and we're just gonna mix it all together like you would any like traditional crisp topping. And we're also gonna do some stevia. We're gonna do about 20 drops. So we like things a little sweeter in this house. And now just add in take off your rings and your bracelets. Put your hair up if you need to. Add in the butter and just get in there. This will take a couple minutes, but you know, your pumpkin pie filling is in the oven, so this is perfect time to do it.
What's your all-time favorite holiday dessert?
Well, it used to be pecan pie. That like I could just go hard. I could eat an entire pie. So I'll have a cookie, I'll have a brownie, I'll have a piece of cake, I'll have a piece of pie, I have a little bit of ice cream. You can see it's starting to come together. It's a little sandy. Okay, so the crumbles come together. It's almost like a dough. And all the butter isn't like melted or mushed in, but that's fine because it will melt when we're baking it. I shouldn't pretend like I celebrated American holidays. My favorite dessert is gulab jamun. Look that up. It's like a fried ball of cheese in delicious like sweet syrup. All right, so it's out of the oven and you can see like the edges set a little. The center's still very like jiggly, wobbly. That's fine. But I just like to let it set very little bit. So let's just have fun with the crumble now. I like to do big dollops at first and then you can like fill in the gaps. And whenever I ate a crisp, if I'm being honest, my favorite part is the crumble. I think that's most people, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah.
The crisp, like, yeah, that beats everything. So I've made a lot of crisp here. It's like half crisp, half filling. And I mean, If I'm being honest, that's the best way to eat it. Okay, this is looking beautiful. I'm so excited to try it. So this is gonna go in the oven for another 30 minutes. So that's 40 minutes total bake time. I would just check an eye on it because the crumble can burn a little. 20 to 30 minutes, somewhere in there. Just start checking on it and we'll be back to pull it out and taste test. All right, guys, we are back. It was 30 minutes and we let this sit for like 5 minutes, and you're gonna wanna let it sit a little. It'll firm up even more as it sits, but I'm impatient. We're gonna try this. It looks delicious. And you can see that the pumpkin pie filling has definitely set. And just like any other crisp recipe, you're not gonna slice this like a pie. You're gonna scoop it and you're gonna take as much as you want because it's delicious, and then top it with whipped cream. So I'm actually gonna scoop some out for you. Show you what's up. Oh yeah. So the longer you let it cool, the more the crisp will harden up, but that looks amazing. My mouth is on fire, but like I couldn't stop eating it. You know when that happens, it's like burning your mouth, but you're like just trying to get it down. Delicious. This is probably gonna be my new holiday dessert. This is up to par with gulab jamun. That's a good question. Matt just asked how it's best served, because usually a crisp is like served cold, right? Is it served warm?
Yeah.
I think it could go either way. I think this one could be cold or warm. Like this is really fire hot, like burning, but it's delicious. I think a little warm with like some whipped cream on top, some cold whipped cream would be the best way to serve it, but you can do cold or hot, whatever works best. So linked below is the exact recipe on how to make this, and you're gonna wanna make this instead of a pie this year. Thank you for joining me. Happy holidays.